Doc, how do you feel about the movie Sinners? And the second question is, do you believe in spirits, and is it an unseen world of spirits that we can't see?
Okay, Sinners,
Okay,
and do you
man.
believe in spirits? Okay. Thank you, Dylan.
Of course, if you're African, you believe in spirit. We believe that everything you can see comes from what you can see. We also believe that when the Creator made us, because we are spirits encapsulated by a body, but we live in a world of other spirits that are not encapsulated by a body. And some of those spirits are negative, as you saw on display in the movie Sinners. And those negative spirits are still working on behalf of the Creator, because their job is to challenge you, to test you. Basically, the job of the evil spirits, the unbalanced spirits, the low frequency and the low vibrational spirits, the demons and the devils, as many people say, their job is to see how many Africans they can distract from the goal line. Their job is to steal your spirit so you don't make it back to the Lord. You know, they are the ones who introduce the lust, they introduce the sin, they introduce the greed, they introduce the murder, the conflict. Everything evil in our society has a spiritual basis. Everything evil in our society has a spiritual basis. And what Sinners is basically trying to remind black people is that you are not only at war against the white power structure, you are at war against spirits who know that you were sent here as the chosen ones of the Almighty. The oldest people and the first people, African people, are the chosen ones. And there are spirits roaming this earth whose job is to try to convince you that you would have a much better life by serving the devil than by serving God. And we have to, and we got to recognize that so much of what America offers us, and so much that we have gotten addicted to, from the sisters getting their bodies altered to the men getting involved in all types of unnatural relationships, all of this is the work of the devil. But the devil can't get you if you keep your spirit in alignment with the Almighty.
That's so amazing. In fact, in the movie, the leader of the demon spirits was white people, was a white guy.
Indeed.
And I did see Sinners. I didn't like it. I liked the cinematography. I liked the fact that it was.
I loved it. I loved it.
You know,
I loved it.
but I didn't like, because I don't do well with demonic anything. You know, so I wasn't kin to that.
A demonic movie with a message, though, Baba. So
Yes.
It's a little different. You know what I mean? It wasn't the typical demonology movie, which is, you know, blood and guts just for the sake of the thrill. This one actually had a spiritual message in it for black people.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at it again then, because I missed it. Ooh, I didn't like it. All the vampires and stuff. Well, I did not like it.
But the thing about it, Baba, is we live that, though.
That's true. Every day we run into these evil spirits.
We live it. The only difference is you were able to see the spirits in the movie.
That's right.
We don't often.
That's right.
We don't often, and we also are not able to tell when people we know are actually under possession of some of these spirits.
Living with us.
The spirit of lust, the spirit of alcoholism, the spirit of greed, the spirit of selfishness. And I would argue, Baba, a big reason why black male-female relationships are not working is because the black family is under spiritual attack by demons of selfishness.
Wow.
There are unseen forces that are keeping black men and black women apart, and we're not recognizing it because the white man has convinced us to become so materialistic. We become just like him, where we only evaluate life based on what we see, failing to recognize there's so much more to this life that you can't see.
And you know what? I'm thinking right now, we have opened the gates of hell, and a lot of the demons that was in hiding are out in public now, just like in the White House. I cannot believe all of the demonic things that this administration is doing against other human beings. There can't be nothing but the work of the devil.
Nothing but the work of the devil. And we know that most of the secret societies of white supremacy, even if we look at Jeffrey Epstein, one of the big reasons why you got so much of children is why. In those kind of circles, they believe that to extend your life force on this earth, to extend your stay on this planet, you have to engage in intimacy with prepubescent children. And in many cases, you often have to those prepubescent children and devour some of their brain fluid. This is what they do. All these secret societies, this is what they do. They worship Lucifer, and their job is to try to help their people stay on this planet as long as possible to prevent the resurrection of righteousness.
Wow. And you know, wait a minute, Patrick. I say that, you know, one of the things that Donald Trump talked about, he's going to create a good economy, is because there is no unemployment in the underworld. You can always find something to do in the underworld, and now the underworld is going to come up on top. And if you want to be a part of that group, they can find you some money. And if you don't want to be a part of that group, then you're going to have a hard time.
And we also got to keep in mind, fellas, that all of this is taking place, and we talked about this a few shows ago before he signed these executive orders, but all of this is taking place at a time where the planet Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, is visiting the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of revolution and rebellion. Remember, Pluto hasn't visited Aquarius since the Haitian Revolution of 1791. So we are living in a time where revolution is supposed to take place. And so from a spiritual perspective, Donald Trump, as one of those forces of the left, he's actually carrying out the divine design by doing this. And maybe this is what has to happen in order for black people to recognize their inner divinity, stop living for things, and start living for justice.
That's right. That's why it's called Ifa Tunde. It's for true. Patrick, you had something to say?
Yes, I think Dr. Omar had a conversation or had a talk about the relationship between the black females and the black males. That has actually gotten to a point where I think we need to identify and invite some of our prominent female personalities and some of the males to actually have to talk about this thing in a whole segment, because it is running out of proportion. This is actually destructing our foundation, the family foundation of the blacks and in America, not only probably in the whole world right now, where relationship is not what it used to be.
Yeah, that's because the family is the greatest institution to start with.
It does.
I want to say one thing about that movie. This is what prompted me to call the movie The Sinners. I think with our young people, what's wrong with our young people is that for some reason, they want to believe the European thinking as far as that there's God and there's these demons and all this kind of nonsense. No, most of the countries in the world do not believe in that. Most of them, Asia, China, Africa, do not believe in that type of thinking.
Maybe that's why so much war in the world.
Exactly. We have to start teaching our kids that the devil, Donald Trump is a devil, because actions speak louder than words. We got to start calling people what they really are. Ain't no President Donald Trump. That's a devil. I never refer to him as President Donald Trump. Never. Because he's a devil. Anybody that's trying to destroy creation in whatever way or form is a devil. Because the devil's in every human being, as is God. But we got to make a choice. Do we want to serve the evil within ourselves? Do we want to serve that? Go ahead and do it. Or do you want to serve the good in yourself, which is of godliness or whatever you want to call it? It's that simple. And if you're not doing it, that's what we got to teach these young kids, because they're evil. They're making themselves devil when they're shooting each other, calling each other the N-word, saying I do this and I do that. We got to put it in their mind and stop. Don't do that. Yeah, sure, he's a devil. But so are we when we don't do what we should do to make this a better place. Because this is none of our world, and that's all I got today.
Hey, that was a lot. Thank you so much.
And I did a brief movie review of Sinners. If you go to YouTube to the Art of Dialogue podcast page, Art of Dialogue, you'll see a brief review that I did on the Sinners movie. I plan to do a more elaborate one on my own soon.